Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, since my last video I've been busy reassembling this Yamaha YL1 Twin Jet from 1966. The previous video I showed all these parts that had come back from the powder coater, and I've been busy reassembling this into a rolling chassis. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. Most of it is powder coated. The tank, I did have to have some color matched paint made by Napa in order to paint that back strap, as well as the lower fork legs. Those are just paint. But the rest of the chassis, as you can see, is all powder coat. And it now has its correct tires on it, which I believe are 250 by 17. It had universal tread tires on it because, as I mentioned, it had been used as a dirt bike. And I've reupholstered the seat and put new rear shocks on it. I actually found these online, brand new from the factory. And as I recall, I mentioned previously that I was going to powder coat the fuel tank and the exhaust system, since chroming is so expensive. I think it came out okay, especially with the tank, and the contrast with the blue looks nice. The exhaust I'm not terribly happy with. It does look okay, but it should be a mirror finish chrome. And I did some searching and was lucky enough to find this exhaust system. It has a twin for the other side, but as you can see, the chrome is not terribly good. I've polished the heck out of it using quick glow, which you can no longer get. More on that later. But when I do put this new pipe on, it looks okay, but it kind of detracts from the quality of the coloring of the bike. So I'm a little bit unsure if I'm going to use the powder coated version or the chrome version. If anything was going to get re-chromed, it'd be these pipes. I found them on eBay really cheaply. I was really surprised. And they're not dented, they have no damage. They just had a rather good coating of rust on them, which I struggled very difficultly to get that cleaned off. But it now has the front fender, front brake installed. The brake works. I have no wiring in it as yet, and I've been working on that. The wiring harness in this bike was pretty chewed up. The previous owner had cut some wires, left them bare. They'd used duct tape to tape together joints they'd soldered, and it was really pretty disappointing. But the seller of these exhaust pipes that I got, the second set, actually had a harness for a 1967 version, which had electric start. So it has all the wiring that this bike needs, plus a little extra, which I won't be using since this bike does not have electric start. But I've finished working on that. I've now got a complete wiring harness with all the factory connections that it should have. That'll be going in. And as I mentioned previously, the bike did run really well, but parts of the electrical system didn't work. You know, it was funny, the brake light worked, the running light worked, the headlight did not work. There was no horn, which, as you can see under there is now. And the neutral light did work, as well as the light for the speedometer. So everything but the headlight and the horn was working okay. But boy, once I got that harness out of there, I saw how much damage and poor quality repairs have been done. And I have replaced the perches on this. Both previous perches were cracked, really corroded, and it was really a shame. But I did find these brand new online as well. And I should mention, I'm not sponsored by this company, but where I get these parts is from a company in the Netherlands, and it's called cmsnl.com. And they have parts for Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Ducati, and all the parts for all the different things they ever made, including lawnmowers, snow blowers, wood chippers, weed whackers, motorcycles, snowmobiles, and all that. And the nice thing is they have all exploded diagrams from the manuals showing all the different parts and how they assemble, and they use the original part numbers for these parts. They have millions of parts that they've purchased over the years from dealers, brand new in the package. That's where I got these rear shocks, brand new. Emblems, you know, like I said, these new perches I have here on the handlebars, wiring, light bulbs, all the hardware. It comes wrapped in factory packaging. You know, if you need like a dozen 10mm washers, they'll come to you, each one individually wrapped on a strip, like they pull it off a roll. You know, it's just unbelievable. They ship everything by FedEx, and it gets to you very shortly. And that's what I've been buying for this bike, you know, replacing hardware, emblems, you know. So they even have engine cases in some circumstances. You might need an engine case, and they'll have that, you know, pistons, rings, everything. So check it out, cmsnl.com. Really a great source for factory original parts, new in the packaging. Really unbelievable. But so next step, I'll be working on the engine, getting that cleaned up. I'm going to pull the heads and the blocks and get those cleaned up. I may change the rings in it and reassemble that, clean it up, paint it, and reinstall it here in the bike and get it back together. The next step, though, will be to get that electric harness back into it, the wiring harness, get it all hooked up. I do have to straighten the tail light out. I do know that. Apparently somebody must have done a wheelie and bent the headlight bracket, but rather than get a new one, I'm going to try to rebend that one back into shape. But anyway, it's just a quick video. I wanted to show you that I did get this assembled back into a rolling chassis. If you have opinions on what exhaust system I should use, or should I have this old system re-chromed, I may do that. You know, because I was not terribly pleased with the ultra chrome so-called powder coating, even though it does match the tank. You know, the tank originally had a mirror finish on it, but you know, chroming is very expensive and it takes quite a long time to have done. And as I mentioned, I used this product called Quick Glow. I still have a jar of it. It's basically 3000 grit pumice impregnated into carnauba wax, and the pumice takes the rust off and the wax seals the microscopic cracks in the chrome. Because all this Yamaha chrome is not the best. It was very thin to begin with at the factory, and it was very brittle and hard. And what happens over time is, due to heat and vibration, you get these microscopic cracks, and then moisture gets into the cracks, causes the metal to rust, and you start to get a rust haze, and then eventually you get rusty metal lifting the chrome. And so that's, you know, that's a hard thing to get past, but a lot of times Quick Glow can fix that. And as I mentioned, Quick Glow is no longer available. I've looked everywhere. The company's out of business. Apparently the owner of the company, who was actually featured on Jay Leno's Garage with this product, was in business with his father and daughter, and I guess he had a falling out with them and ended up shooting both of them. So the company is no longer in business, and I still have some of that left, and if you can find it, I would get it, because it's a really great product for cleaning rusty chrome. It'll make things look great that are, you know, basically look impossible. And it's such an unfortunate circumstance. And you know, there's other products out there on Amazon, things that can do a lot of that same kind of work. But let me know what you think about these exhaust systems, what I should do. If you feel like leaving a comment, please do. And the rear fender, as you can see on this bike, unlike my YL2, which has a separate rear fender painted silver, this bike's rear fender is actually the frame. And originally this rear portion had been painted silver to make it look like it had a separate rear fender, which it never did, of course, since that's part of the frame. But I may end up respraying the back end of this with some silver that I use that matches a lot of this really well. So anyway, that's it. Just wanted to get back to you because I said I'd show you what it looks like as a rolling chassis. It's assembled loosely. Most of the fasteners on it are finger tight, but just enough here where I could roll it out into the sun and show you how nicely it looks, especially with that powder coat. So anyway, that's it. I'll be back later after I get the wiring harness in and get a little closer on to reinstalling the engine in this. Anyway, that's it for now, and thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.